Yeah, welcome back to the Go Room podcast. I am Mark Schneider, your guest host today. Please like, subscribe, comment, engage that algorithm, help us, promote the show. Let's kick it off. Hey, welcome to the show, Nick.
Thanks.
Hey, so let's kick it off with the life and the times. Tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you were doing before you started TradeAid.
Yeah, so my name's Nick. I'm one half of TradeAid. My business partner, Garrett, isn't here, so I'm flying the flag solo today.
You're the better looking half, right?
Yeah, well, I like to think so, yeah. So I have grown up in Perth and have spent the last 6 years selling first aid products in various different ways. Originally left school like most people do, right? A lot of people think I'm probably going to say that I started an apprenticeship or got a trade or something like that. However, that wasn't my story. I was someone who's really interested in photography. So I jumped into uni and did a photography and graphic design degree. Left uni, was just really passionate about photography and surfing and traveling and all that sort of stuff. So did that, and during that time I was working as a surf lifeguard on various beaches in Western Australia. So anywhere from Margaret River up to Broome over 6 years. And during that time, me and my business partner Gaz had an idea to try our hand at starting an e-commerce business, which was sort of the birth of TradeAid. So, yeah.
So, coolest place you traveled?
With Gaz, my business partner, it would be Central America and Mexico. We did a Pacific road trip for 3 and a bit months in our probably 22, 23 years old. And just got a van and did the full Pacific coast for a while, which definitely made us realise the importance of having first aid kits doing a trip like that.
So the question that all the California watchers can ask, were the waves bitching?
They were proper. Yeah, they were bitching hard.
Awesome. All right. So the whole kind of premise of the company began with kind of your own personal experiences while, traveling around, mucking about, having fun.
Yeah, essentially. We didn't actually start out trying to sell first aid kits to people within the construction industry. We started through trying to sell first aid kits to surfers. So with our background, we've both worked a number of different jobs in our early 20s, some of which being, TAs up on mine sites. I've worked as, you name it, I've probably done it for a various period of my life. We sort of just, we essentially found, so our first original idea was to create a first aid kit that would have dual purpose within the surfing industries for surfers. So we thought it would be a great idea to build a first aid kit that doubled as a fin bag for your surf fins on the surfboard. So we thought that, combining these two things together, it's something new and surfers should love it. Once we took it to market, we probably ran that business for around 12 to 16 months and realised that surfers aren't always the best customers to sell to. Our kits were quality. The products inside them was like second to none. We put a lot of effort into building what we thought was going to be the best product ever. And we then realised that, surfers don't really value spending $160 on first aid equipment. So that sort of led us to take the same idea of creating specialised first aid kits, but take it to a different market, and that's what led us to branch into the construction and mining industry with our TradeAid kit.
That's very fascinating. So for those of us who don't surf, myself included, what is a fin kit?
So fins are just the things that you put on the bottom of your surfboard, and you take them out when you're travelling or transporting your surfboard. So we wanted to have a home for people to put them. So to take your fins out of the surfboard, put them into a fin bag, just for transport because, yeah.
Gotcha. So essentially, your first aid kit was a dual purpose. You already have to have the fin bag.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so now you got, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a background as a photographer and a surf lifeguard. How has that shaped your experience, in the business journey? You kind of talked about your surfing aspect, but how does that change it?
Yeah, so I probably should have mentioned in the About Me section that photography was something which I have always been really passionate about. It's something that I definitely prioritised after leaving high school. Actually studied at university, did a photography and graphic design degree, which looking back on probably wasn't the most useful degree for me to get, but it definitely, really highlighted the love that I had for it, and definitely the skills that I learnt regarding content creation, photography, videography. They were definitely things that helped TradeAid in the early days with when we really came to market and building that brand, and helping it to grow and be seen by lots of people.
Well, I know that like whenever I try to take photos, my wife tells me I'm doing it wrong. So I can definitely appreciate when someone can do it right. So I completely understand, like, how to get the right ratios, or zoomed in right, zoomed out. Where do you want everything at? So I'm sure that definitely helped because you didn't have to outsource that and cost money when you can just do it yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
So what have been some of the most challenging parts of running TradeAid so far?
I'd say some of the most challenging things that we have dealt with have been regarding our product in the larger landscape of first aid kits. So we really tried to design a first aid kit that was really high quality, and we have learnt over the last few years that there's usually two different types of people. Someone that really sees the value of having good quality first aid gear, and second person who just sees it as something that they need to have as part of their business, and it's just a box ticking thing. So they don't really care about the durability and the quality of the product. So really trying to showcase to our customers and audience the quality and why it's worth buying something once and holding on to for a long time, rather than just buying the worst thing and cheapest thing that you can to tick the box and then throwing it out in 6 months and buying another one.
Yeah, the box tickers versus the ones that wouldn't do this the right way the first time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And realize that in putting the expense up front, right? You pay a little extra for a good high quality product.
Yeah.
And you have to replace it every 6 months, and you realize, I spent 10 times as much over 6 years as opposed to buying it once
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's something that we've tried to carry through our business the whole way. So we really started building out refill kits for our first aid bags because we invested a lot of time and energy and money into getting the samples right, getting the kits as durable and as good as they could be, and we didn't want people throwing them out. So we just we created first aid kits where you can just refill the contents. So if you use heaps of your Band-Aids, or you've had to use your triangular bandage or something like that and it's in the bin, rather than having to buy a complete new first aid kit, you're able to just head online and order a refill kit and just slip it into the labelled sections of the bag.
Gotcha. All right. So your kit is basically has compartments that are labeled for each item, so you don't have to. So the kit is your inventory list.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. It's because I understanding kitting in my own engineering experience. You build these giant kits and you have a parts list, and then you lose the list, and now you're trying to remember off memory. But if the kit is it, that's fascinating actually.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the challenges. So what has been the most rewarding moment you've had since launching, or some of the more rewarding?
I think some of the most rewarding things that we've had is just adapting our business to sort of meet the demands of our customers. So we always look at feedback that we have regarding our kits, and we've always tried to listen to our customers and change things. the rewarding parts of the business that we've had so far is just building new products and taking it to market. Yeah, just making sure that the products that we are creating are being used, and it's always so great to get feedback on our socials or Google reviews of people who have used our kits and sort of shared the story behind when they've had to use it and how it's been useful for them.
If you had one Google review that just pops in your mind, if you don't, it's fine. But you have one Google review that you're like, that would be the best promotion of my gear. What example? You don't have to tell me the company, but kind of what was the gist of it?
Yeah, well, one of the ones that stands out, it's not really much of a story, but it's something that we've tried to use for marketing since, where someone's left a review saying that, these kits are great. It's great to be able to actually open up something and see things labelled and be able to see where everything goes if you're restocking. And he was just like, they're so well organised that, I was even able to send my apprentice over to the bag and they were able to find something straight away and bring it to me. So it's pretty good.
That's actually really key. And I don't know if a lot of people know how important it is. You said apprentice, right? Meaning, the greenest, the most junior person can walk over to something and execute.
Yeah.
I know that I watch a bunch of stupid YouTube videos because that's what we all do these days, right?
Yeah.
And there's this one talking about the new guy, and they're sitting around for like left-handed crescent wrenches and all that. You can't trust that guy, the new guy, to do anything is kind of the gist. But what you've said is your kit is so user-friendly that anybody can, anybody could use it and, they'll be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that is a good point. I think that's a great marketing, is saying, hey, listen, my apprentice can do it. That is such a cool, I think, little story.
Yeah.
People don't think about that, but it's like, could I send my 8-year-old daughter to figure out your kit?
Yeah. I mean, so many people just have in the back of their utes just some old, first aid box where all the stuff's just rolling around in it. And it's just there's a lot going on. So it's just good to have something that's organised and
Yeah, that's definitely neat, because I definitely have those first aid boxes. I've always carried them. I always kept a first aid kit even in my desk office.
There you go.
It's amazing how often you just need a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Because paper cuts are deadly.
Yeah. I'll get you.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to shift gears a little bit. You're talking about, physical, actual physical health type things with first aid. Mental health is something your brand clearly supports. Why is that such a personal priority for you?
Yeah, well, I think personally, mental health is something that is absolutely as important, or if not even more important than physical health. It's something that's getting more and more prevalent in our society for sure, and it's something that I personally have dealt with in the past, and it's something that I still continue to work on today. Something that I am still currently doing is I bounce around to mine sites around Western Australia and broader Australia, delivering mental wellbeing program to mine sites and people in mining, and it's definitely something that doesn't get spoken about enough, and it's something that we try to bring to the forefront of our business, and definitely the marketing around our brand. A portion of every single kit that we sell, we donate to Lifeline just to sort of help a company bigger than us to support others who need it. So yeah, mental health is something that's massive for us.
Yeah, I agree. And, for those who are not, I know most of the audience here understands the mining industry with it being a mining podcast, but I know that the people who know me may not necessarily be in the mining because I'm not a miner.
Yeah.
But the mining industry is hot, especially in the outback, right? It's hot, it's dirty, it's noisy, it's loud. And then on top of it, you add in family separation because most people are fly in, fly out.
Yeah.
So they're going to go and they're going to be separated from their family for periods of time. And it really starts to sound like a military deployment, little mini deployments. And, if you have been anywhere in the last, 20 years with, military mental health has always been a crisis. The U.S. has, they call the 22 a day program,
Yeah.
because there's 22 U.S. veterans that are committing suicide a day. So understanding mental health is huge.
Yeah.
So, and I understand from what I know that the mining sites, I think, have a struggle. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox and stop preaching.
No, it's some of the statistics around mental health in Australia are staggering. So like 1 in 2 Australians by the age of 25 will be affected by suicide one way or another, whether that's someone they know personally or someone that, a friend of theirs, a friend of a friend or something that's impacted them. And I think, with that statistic, I think it's really important for it to be in the forefront of all businesses, I think, personally. And it's something that we're proud to be donating to and will continue to do so.
Yeah, I think that's an important initiative that you all have taken on, and I mean just the idea that every kit provides assistance. It's first aid, and it's first aid just done in a different manner.
Yeah.
So I think that's it's the wounds may not be visible.
Yeah.
And you can't throw a Band-Aid on it, but the ability to provide first aid, to all aspects of the human is a pretty impressive thing. So. All right, we're going to shift a little bit here. So walk us through the journey of getting TradeAid's brand and product range to where it is today.
I'd say the journey's been a long one. So obviously starting out in 2019 with TradeAid, like I mentioned, figuring all that out and learning all the lessons that came with that, and then pivoting to the construction industry and bringing a first aid product there. Starting the Shopify store and just building the brand and all that sort of thing is something that's been challenging at times for sure, but it's definitely something that, we've learned a lot from. And the transition has really just been receiving feedbacks from our customers, working on the products and trying to get the product out in front of the right people and,
So, did you see the impact of the pandemic affect your demand? Was it higher, lower?
Yeah, it definitely had an impact, but I think it was probably more for the positive for us personally. There's just a lot of people during that time that were thinking about first aid and thinking about medical devices and that, and I think it's definitely helped us. That's
interesting. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. Everyone was probably focused on PPE, thinking about masks and gloves and all that. And here you are providing a first aid product, and I don't know what's in your product necessarily, but just everyone had the idea of initial care, protection on their mind, and that psychologically drove everyone towards your product.
Yeah. We were getting so many people calling us up, asking about, can we buy masks from you and all that sort of stuff. And we were like, we don't actually have those specific masks. But it was definitely good for our business looking back at it.
That's fascinating, because I know most businesses, it seems like they struggled in the pandemic, but sounds like you were able to, I want to say capitalize, this is the right word, but able to provide support for a demand that had not necessarily existed prior.
Yeah.
So now that we've kind of talked about your past, though, where do you see the business heading in the next year to 2 years?
Well, really the business we see just building momentum and just continuing to grow as it is now. But we're definitely excited to open up a new wing of TradeAid. We want to start, we've actually got everything sorted and ready to go to start first aid training. So actually providing first aid training to businesses and small businesses, large businesses within the construction industry, and really tailor those first aid courses to be specific to injuries that might be sustained on mine sites, as well as work sites and other areas in construction. Because again, first aid courses are great, but I think if you're able to actually focus in on the specific use cases of people in the room or people in that sector, as in construction or mining, and really tailor their experience and the things they're able to learn around those areas would be great. So we're really excited to start doing that.
So I have a question as an ignorant American. Does your first aid training you're proposing include things like snake and spider bite?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's neat. So
Yeah.
and does your first aid kit include antivenoms?
No.
Okay.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not.
yet.
I think there's too many snakes for all the
Gotcha.
different antivenoms. But
Oh yeah. All right. Fair. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got snake bite bandages and everything that you need for that.
Gotcha.
So.
So you're not having to suck the wound out, the wound out like all those old stories.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, it's interesting you're talking about tailored first aid training. So I know that with my background based, you see the hat based on serving in the U.S. military.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in electronics and around electrical equipment. So not only did we have our generic first aid training that was based around life on a submarine with we had steam burns we had to deal with because we had steam power plant, and then having to deal with things like that, and then dealing just with all sorts of injuries, lacerations, and all that. But then we did a lot of work on energized gear, so having to know that how do you pull someone off of an energized panel, right? You have a rope or a non-conductive, or even I think my favorite was the flying drop kick. They actually taught us how to do a flying drop kick. So your mate's freaking shocked and has grabbed onto the panel, and so because if you jump, you don't make a contact. You actually literally kick them, and then they have been pushed away from it, and you're no longer energized. And
specific stuff right there.
Yeah, which is like doing a flying drop kick on a submarine is kind of silly because there's not exactly a lot of clearance room. I'm 6 feet tall, and the clearance is about 6'2", so I'm going to hit my head. Which I think is pretty funny. So.
Yeah.
All right. So if you could go back in time and change one part of your story with first aid, what would it be?
If I was going to change one thing, it would probably just to maybe do more research into the market before, putting the effort into building something. Definitely the surf aid part of our story was definitely interesting. Looking back at it, but there was definitely a lot of time there that we could have saved if we just focused in a little bit more on who we're selling to and why they would be wanting to buy the product.
Do you still offer your surf aid product?
No, we've stopped that. Yeah, so it's on the shelf. Yeah.
So it'd be interesting if it'd be like, hey, there is still a demand, enough of a demand where you can, have a surf aid kit with the fin bag, and it, be like, well, it'd be better if we'd focused on the industrial application.
Yeah.
And then, but we still do this surf aid thing.
Yeah.
But, surfers, it's kind of like bikers, right? You get the bikey guys, riding around on their motorcycles. I'm certain that the idea of them having a first aid kit in their kit, makes them look not cool.
Yeah. No, you can't have something like that showing.
Yeah, gotcha.
But no, it was looking back. It was one of the most interesting parts of our business is really realizing that same idea, two different markets, two very, very different results when it comes to implementation and adoption of people wanting to buy stuff.
So it'd be interesting to see if your kit would be something that would be, because I know right now you're kind of focused on the mining and industrial, and I know that mining is the big industry in Perth. It'd be interesting as defense is starting to pick up here, and I know that the Western Australian government is talking about defense becoming the number 2 and becoming even potentially in competition in low mining periods of being number 1. Yep. It'd be interesting to see if your kits would be something that, say the SAS out of Campbell Barracks, or the Naval Forces out of Sterling, if they would be interested in it. Or even I know all the work at Henderson. Like that seems to me like there would be an opportunity there with all because they're getting ready to do a big expansion there. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah. Well, I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I know you're like your first aid kit, like, maybe there's an opportunity there where it's, we got all these, these workers gonna be working around, it's going to start out as primarily construction, which is, very similar to mining.
Yeah.
And then as you're building things up, right, having that first aid kit, I don't know if it's a personal kit that people carry with them or if they'd have just like at a first aid station, or if it could be however, like, I'm certain that your products have different varieties based on
Yeah,
demand.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got two main products at the moment. So we've got the classic kit, which is the more comprehensive bag, and then the compact TradeAid kit, which is obviously smaller. It's got a clip. A lot of people use it to just clip onto their tool belt, so it's always on hand. Much better for people working in exploration or who are a bit more tight on space, or just want one in the glove box. But yeah, both of the kits are just, we're pretty proud of the quality of them and how they're made and all of the contents inside them.
That's so neat. I love the fact that it's when you describe that it's like you can just pull it out and you're like, I need a triangle bandage, and triangle bandage.
Yeah.
That's super neat, because I know that like when you're talking like hazardous material spill kits, they'll have like a bag that you pull up that says gloves, and you're supposed to have 3 pairs of gloves in here. And it'll have hazmat suit, and it'll have desiccant powder or whatever, right? So that you have all that stuff so that everyone can see all that. It's just neat that you put it in this small compact package, so that everyone knows what they need, and then it's like, oh, we need a refill. I'm sure that every tool room is excited to stock your product.
Well, and we've tried to make it as easy as possible for businesses as well, because a lot of the times people, will be going to a kit, they'll take things out, and they won't actually log what they've taken out. So, all our kits come with a brochure of sorts where, if you're taking something out, you just log it so that when you need to be, when it needs to be refilled or replenished.
Yeah, that logistics tracking. I know that I did another one of these, and it was like talking about how you manage the logistics and get things. And it's like you can figure out your demand signal based off that and be like, hey, we know that we have, on average X number of lacerations. Yeah. And and the other thing is that you can provide almost like a safety analysis. So if a company figures out that they're using a certain product of yours, one of the products within your kit, they could use that information to figure out, maybe there's a change in their training they need to do to prevent that. I mean, it's bad for you because it means they're going to find a way to not use your product and not pay for it. But good for them in that it shows an improved level of safety. Yeah. So, I mean, it's super important. That's a fascinating thought process of how do you take safety and turn it into a metric and demand use for what you're providing is a good source for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. For those that are listening in, what's the best way that they can support the TradeAid mission?
Definitely just talking to people about our kits. If you are someone that really does like good quality products and likes buying something once and having it for a very long time, our products would definitely be something for you. But the best thing they can do is just order our kits. Talk to people about our kits, buy our kits through suppliers, and just spread the word. And also jump on to our website at tradeaidkits.com.au and express interest on any of the first aid training if that's something that might be useful for their business.
So do you have social media accounts as well? X, all that. Yeah. So you want to pitch them real quick? So
we got at TradeAid Kits with Instagram. We've got Facebook. Just type in TradeAid Kits. There's a page there, and just the website. So no, we're not on X.
Not on X. Okay. No, I mean, not that. All right. And to wrap it up, so what's next from here?
Next from here is more of the same, and just leveling up everything that we can, focusing big time on the first aid training, and just seeing where it all goes, continuing to build relationships with people in the industry and get our products in front of as many people as we can. So that's probably it.
That's awesome. Yeah, sounds like things are kind of all going your way at this point.
We'll see.
Well, it's a pleasure having you here, Nick. Thanks so much.
No, thank you.
And thank you all for watching the Gold Room podcast. Again, please like, subscribe, comment. Good or bad. Make sure you mock Josh as much as you can in the comments because he needs it. And again, thank you very much for having me. And Nick, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you. It's been awesome.